Hello everyone, and thank you for watching this video. This video is part 7 at looking at our followers for Dragon Age Inquisition. Last episode was about our advisor Josephine Monteliet, and this episode is about our advisor Leliana. First, I will read the official synopsis Bioware gave for the character. She has many names. Most know her as Sister Nightingale or the Left Hand of the Divine. To a rare friend, she is Leliana. They say she found faith amid darkness, and that her devotion to the Maker is matched only by her devotion to Divine Justinia V, a woman who is both mentor and savior. Those who have earned her loyalty know her as a steadfast ally, but enemies of the Divine know to fear her, for she is the shadow behind the sunburst throne, the one who watches and waits, who strikes when her mark is most vulnerable and least suspecting. Of all the followers, Leliana is probably the one we know the most about. Leliana was born in Orlais, and though she is culturally Orlesian, her mother was Ferelden, and so she considers herself as such. Leliana's mother was a servant of Lady Cecily, an Orlesian noble. Following the Ferelden victory in the rebellion, her mother followed Lady Cecily back to Orlais. Cecily raised Leliana after her mother's death, and in her care, Leliana learned much about the royal court and Orlesian culture. In time, she entered the grand game and entered training as a bard under Marjolaine, a master bard and highly skilled player of the game. Leliana fell in love with Marjolaine, for whom she ran errands and became a merciless killer and thief. However, her mentor took advantage of her lover's infatuation and framed Leliana for espionage, a crime punishable by death. Captured and beaten, Leliana was imprisoned. After escaping, Leliana uncovered the full extent of Marjolaine's treachery and fled Orlais, marked as a traitor. Cast adrift, Leliana crossed the border into her ancestral homeland of Ferelden, eventually ending up in the village of Lothering. To atone for her sins, Leliana joined the chantry there as a lay sister, becoming intensely religious. It was there a couple years later where we first encounter her in Dragon Age Origins. She encounters the Grey Warden, who will eventually become the hero of Ferelden, and asks to join them, saying that she had received a vision from the Maker to do so. If allowed, she joins them and becomes the Warden's friend, and possibly even lover. However, while traveling with the Warden, the ghosts of her past come back to haunt her as Marjolaine sends assassins after Leliana, thinking Leliana's departure from Lothering after such a long time meant she was coming after Marjolaine for revenge. With the Warden's help, Leliana finally faced her past and killed her former mentor and lover. After the Fifth Blight, Leliana was summoned to Valroy by her friend and mentor Divine Justinia V. Justinia was formerly known as Revered Mother Dorothea, the woman who had saved Leliana when Leliana was betrayed and almost killed by Marjolaine. Because of their history, Leliana feels a close bond with Justinia. Naturally, when Justinia needed her help, Leliana went to her side. She began to serve as the Divine's left hand. As we know, Cassandra is the right hand of the Divine, the warrior who puts herself front and center. She's bold and direct and driven. Leliana, as the left hand, meanwhile, hangs back in the shadows. She watches the Divine's back, watches for enemies, waits for them to reveal their weaknesses, and comes at them from the shadows. She appears in Dragon Age 2, Dragon Age Asunder, and Dragon Age The Masked Empire while in this role, serving various missions for Divine Justinia. Leliana is one of the founding members of the Inquisition, and leads the clandestine division responsible for espionage, intelligence gathering, and assassination, providing an effective alternative when diplomacy or military might fails. Those who played Dragon Age Origins might remember Leliana as a cheerful, optimistic young woman who tried her best to do what she thought was right. It's now 10 years later, and lots of things have happened. She's not as carefree. Even if she wanted to show that side of her personality, she can't. She's a high-ranking member of the Inquisition with a great deal of responsibility, and she has to present herself a certain way for the Inquisition's sake. However, if you prove that you're trustworthy, and that you understand where she's come from, she might let her guard down a little. The Inquisition is Leliana's priority. She knows that infighting will doom it to a quick and messy end, so she's often willing to put aside her own personal feelings to do what's best for the organization. She has a healthy respect for Cassandra, even if she doesn't always agree with her. Ultimately, their goals align, and they'll work together for what they believe is the greater good. It's a little like mom and dad quarreling behind closed doors, but presenting a united front to the kids. Same goes for Colin. She has a good relationship with her friend Josephine. They're old acquaintances, with Leliana even referring to her as Josie, and they both know the other is very good at what they do. That said, it is a relief for them to see, oh, our work styles mesh after all. Phew. That's not to say they always agree with each other, but they're a good team. Leliana is written by Cheryl Chi and voiced by Karine Kempa. Again, I thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoy more in the future.